Excuse me. I've got plague. Uh, as you can see behind me, I'm mad busy at the moment and will be right until Christmas Eve. So I'm absolutely fucking wrecked. I've been going literally all day, constantly moving things around from place to place, and I'm just not getting enough sleep or anything. And Christmas is just a shitload of work for me, and and a cough, and yeah, a few things in between being incredibly busy and fucking hurting my back. I did the Sonia Poulton show this morning. So if you go to Brand New Tube, you can see it in a segment I did with her early this morning. Also today I'm one of the people that's been recorded for a kind of a Christmas special with Garrett Ike on the Icon TV. I left it as a positive thing, and I do feel a lot more positive at the moment. And you should too. I don't know if you've noticed, but we were talking about it on the pub last night. There has definitely been a shift. There's definitely been a change in the last week or so, and I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that the need to blame the unneedlecraft completely flopped. There's been no mass hysteria about the unneedlecraft causing the problems. We didn't get blamed. They wanted to blame us by Song Division and doing this. It didn't work. And in Ireland, we have a new series of bullshit lockdowns. I told you why they were originally 5 o'clock and then was moved to 8. It was to make sure people are home for the evening news, either 6 o'clock or the 9 o'clock news. So so they can get their latest fear porn programming. They're devious fuckers, these bastards. But there's still too many people out there who thinks this is about a healthcare crisis. It's nothing of the sort. It's about it's about politicians and bureaucrats who've lost the run themselves and are enjoying mind control and treating us like the animals they see us as. And that's the thing, they see us as animals. Now, this Muppet approached Irish TV radio presenter now. Well, he was a TV presenter for a very long time, called Pat Kenny, walking his dog in the park. And the guy couldn't have been more of a fucking idiot if he tried. He could not have been more of a fucking Muppet if he tried. He came across as unhinged, hysterical, just nuts. And Pat Kenny owned him like a bitch. And so I knew this was going to happen. They were going to use that and as an example of how all the people who are on our side are all unhinged. And sure enough, they did just that. So if you're going to approach people, make sure you're not a fucking lunatic, okay? Make sure you're mentally sound and you're not unhinged. And if you see videos where unhinged individuals are approaching politicians, whatever, don't share those videos. Only share the videos where it's a sane person. Unfortunately, there's so many idiots in the Irish awake, so-called all-seeing, that they thought, oh, he owned Kenny. No, he didn't. Pat Kenny completely owned that Muppet. Completely owned him. He knew right around as he turned around and looked at the guy he knew was dealing with a fool, and he would easily take him down. And he smelled blood. And he went for him, and he won, big time. So if you're approaching, if you're doorstepping politicians, or Stephen Kerr does it very, very well. If you're doorstepping politicians or media people, do make sure you're sane, you're mentally functioning. Now, also, I saw a thing of the latest protest. Oh my Jesus Christ, they're getting worse. It was held in Springfield in Dublin, and Christian Morris shared the video, and holy Christ, it was awful. Just awful. People singing songs. Of course, the so-called protesters calling the politicians by their first names. As soon as they call them by their first names, they are out of my existence, okay? It's done. It's over. You've lost all. You cannot claim to be part of any kind of, civil rights movement if you're going to up to your politician like he's your buddy and begging him for something by calling him by his first name. They fucking love that because they know they have you dogs trained when you do that so well. But it's still going on. Oh yeah. I hate them, a fucking bastard Leo. Piece of shit Stephen. They're always the first fucking name. It's just one of the things. It's one of the reasons Ireland is in the state it's in today, is because of they've coached the average moron here to call politicians by their first name, and as a result, the politicians treat them as the pets that they are and the livestock that they are. That's what you are. If you call a politician and this was there was this woman on the stage going, "We're not going to take it, Stephen. We're not going to take it, Leo." Oh God, it was pure cringe, pure fucking cringe. And those people who say, "Well, what are you doing about it?" Nothing. You think that's actually helping? And a family fund and kids deliberately brought there so there'd be no trouble. You know, just, it was horrific to watch. Anyway, and because it was horrific, but things are feeling much more positive now, mainly because their agenda to blame the clean bloods, it didn't work. It didn't work. Sanguinosis has played into its own. I'm also, I know this is a wacky out there theory of mine, but you've heard me talk in the past how I believe that 9/11 was actually a fracturing of reality, and we were thrown off the timeline we were supposed to be on, and thrown into an alternative fractured timeline. And what's in this fractured timeline, the things like this nonsense that we're dealing with now is going on. This fractured timeline. And I've seen absolute proof in recent days of the Mandela effect as a real thing. And it was almost like noticing these Mandela effects were actually real, started to put us back in the direction towards the September 10th, 2001 timeline. Now that doesn't mean you're going to go back to September 2001. The chronology vortex still moved along. Vector, sorry, the quantum chronology vector has still moved along. Whatever, we finally connect. It's happening slowly, by the way. If we finally go back to the original reality construct that we had on September 10th, 2001. It could be in a year, it could be in 5 years, but it's definitely on the way. It's not going to be much longer than 5 years, I don't think. And how these Mandela effects, the awareness of them, is to showing us that we're currently living in two overlapping realities right now, and that's what's happening. I've got a thumbnail better than the one I'm using that will actually show how the concept works. But the recognizing of these Mandela effects works the same way as the recognizing of synchronicities. People say to me, "What does it mean when I have a synchronicity, a series of synchronicities?" You just pay attention. You don't have to do anything. The same thing with these. There's something happening. Reality is going back to where it was, and although you won't go back to being 19 or whatever you are, nothing like that, you'll still be the same age. You'll be back on the original quantum chronological vector that had been interrupted by the mass psychic trauma and consciousness trauma of the 9/11 event, when the whole world. See, what happened was the whole world was watching it, and they were going, oh my God, make it go away, make it go away," because there was, nobody expected to see this live snuff movie of people jumping out of buildings holding hands, that were, they caught on helicopters and were broadcast around the world, live into people's homes, and billions watching this. And people were literally going, "Make it go away, make it go away." Well, that's psychic. They basically willed a form of magic, and they did make it go away. They pushed us into this mutant reality, fractured reality that we're in now, and that's why we're in. That's why the world is the way it is. What you will notice is there'll be lots of synchronicities that will relate. You'll find similar kinds of music that was popular back then will come back. People you haven't seen people you haven't met, or the situations that had not existed since 2010, in 2001, before September 10th, you'll start to see them coming back. Interests and hobbies and things you were interested in, you may have lost interest in after September 11th. Not consciously knowing that was what caused it. You'll find that you suddenly get into hobbies and stuff you were into before that, or interest or bands and stuff like that. And so that's what's happening. We're reconnecting with the timeline that we were supposed to be on before 9/11. And what happened was, the the whole people who realized that 9/11 was dodgy and iffy, and the story behind it wasn't quite what they said it was. We have almost been like nomads. We have almost been like quantum nomads in this fractured reality. We know something is seriously wrong. We've known that, and and that, for many people, the waking up happened with the 9/11 event, and we've been in this fractured reality. We know something's not right, but this Rona world lockdown, carry on scamdemic, is the other end of a bookcase, two bookends, and it's pushing us back into this reality. And it began with the common awareness of Mandela effects. We started to realize, hold on a second, I'm not in the same reality I was in, the famous one, of Dolly and the braces in the Bond movie, and that's and some of the stories I'm hearing now are just incredible. Like, people had heard DVDs where the text had changed on it, the script had changed, and now they're hearing it again with the original script that they thought that used to exist. The same DVD in the same box. They're crossovering two different realities, and that's why, light up the comments down below with all this. Light up the comments down below with all this, any experience like this, because I really want to talk about this and examine this more and hear your stories about it. And so that's what's happening. So you'll find that even values that you had in, before September 10, 2001 will come back. We'll find there'll be a correction to the world will happen, and this is why I think things are feeling better all of a sudden, that we're realizing that we're coming home. That's the way I would put it. We were coming home to where we were meant to be within the quantum construct. We're coming home, and that's why I feel so strongly about this now. And it's, of course, when we get back, it will still have the same world that we had in 2001 before 9/11. We'll still have the same problems and stuff, but we'll feel more comfortable. Those of us, the quantum nomads who have been trapped in this fractured reality. See, the NPCs and the normies don't notice, because they don't have the cognitive awareness to notice. But we do. We in the tribes and tribes like us do. And we felt like we were nomads in this thing. And the world was getting more insane and crazy. And we were trying to say to people, like, can't you not see how nuts everything is now? But the NPC and the normie can't see that. But we could, as the quantum nomads. And now we're going home. We were almost like, and we were almost, think of your consciousness as being stuck in a refugee camp called the fractured matrix chronology vector. And now you're coming back to the unfractured one that existed before September 11, 2001. So lots of comments I want to see on this. I want to see people talking about this, because a big part of this is the recognition of it. We will speed the process up and escape this fractured reality. Recognition is very important. So we have to talk about it. We have to recognize it. We have to see as many Mandela effects as we can. Even if they're not correct, even talking about the Mandela effect is enough. Helps. If talking about synchronicities, talking about things coming back in your life again, we can speed this up by actually escaping the accidental hex of 9/11. No, it could have been for real. They could have done that knowing this would happen, but it doesn't matter. We can pull ourselves back out. They would not have suspected this. So so develop the consciousness that we're going to go back to the world before it became a fractured matrix on September 11, 2001. The mechanism that drives it is things like synchronistic events that are reoccurring from what happened before September 11, 2001, and also noticing Mandela effects. And you will find yourself coming back into a better place where you have less anxiety and things are working a bit better. And we will remember, as we're exiting this fractured reality, we also exit all the control grid stuff of the last 2 years around the scamdemic. And this is a way that we can end it. We go to a place where there was no scamdemic. So eventually you will see it becoming less and less important to you. That's the first thing I think I noticed this week is I didn't care about it anymore. really, as much as I had. And it's other than the odd thing that someone sell me, like a meme or something. But I took more of an interest in other events in the world, like the big property scam going on at the moment. I speak about it in the pub. If you haven't seen the BR313 pub last night, go see it because I talk about it there. So there you go. Light up the comments with your Mandela effect and other things you think that may be supporting my theory, and let's go home. Sanguine Gnosis.